Good morning and welcome to episode 3 of the Keep Talking podcast. Before we start, just going to take a minute just to remind people of mental health and how it affects us all, especially the tragic news from the weekend of Ricky Hatton, an international boxer all across the world that sadly lost his life. But as you can see in the room, we haven't got Martin Smith, who was due and advertised to be on the podcast, but we have managed to get what he is known as a legend in the city. Although, if you ask anybody, ask anybody for what you've done for not only grassroots football, men's football, straight from the youth. Steve, we've knew each other for a few years now when I started my management journey, and you were still there. But it's Steve Cornew, a now taxi driver.
Yep.
Now taxi driver for Easy Cars Taxi, right? But first of all, massive thanks to Millfields Trust, our partners and sponsors of the podcast, letting us use this lovely facility. But so Steve, so this podcast, we're going through who is Steve, all right? We're touching on battles in which you may have had in your life, which you've already said you openly share with us.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll finish at the end with a 5-minute Q&A about local football.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, thank you for inviting me here today. I think we all have demons in our life and certain things we can talk about, which I've always been a great believer. It's good to share with things. When I was younger, I was probably like most men, you're thinking you can't sort of share, open up, because you're thinking you can't do that because you're a man, you might be the house, charge of the house. Yeah. But things happen in my life, and it has been good to talk to people because it does make things a lot easier. And I've been very, very lucky that I've had a very, very strong backing from my mum and dad before I met my wife and obviously my children. So personally myself and mum and dad were a great influence on my life. I mean, we came down from London when I was 14 years old.
So sorry, what era was that, Steve?
We came from Twickenham, just outside Twickenham, a place called Isleworth. If I say Twickenham, people know where.
Yeah. So when we say about era, so 90s, 80s?
We come down in 1973.
So it's 73?
1973, yeah. So I've been down here 52 years now, so.
Because we're only asking, because when me and Ben had this conversation in the past, obviously our first podcast, I sat down with Ben talking, we were talking about the eras, I'm not talking, when we had Gav, and he was playing footballs in the 80s and 90s, for example. It was more the fact of, we always look at the 90s and the 80s, we don't even go further back to the 70s and what it was like in the disco 70s, as they say it. Yeah.
Different,
but...
How old were you when you moved down then? About 10?
14, I was 14.
14, yeah.
Sorry, I'm 66 now, yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell.
I mean, I was lucky. We had a good childhood. I mean, I think, to be fair, the 70s were 60s and 70s were the best times for growing up for young people. I mean, I was lucky I couldn't play for Brentford, but unfortunately I decided to do a milk round and earn myself £1 for a weekend. Because back in those days, money wasn't in football like it is now, so you never had that incentive to go and play for a club. Yeah. So I actually turned down Brentford to carry on doing a milk round when I was 10 years old. And how that started was, Mum and Dad were very, very strict, and Dad was probably the very, very strict one. He was old school. I mean, you speak when you're spoken to, and that was how it was in those days, And I said, Dad, I don't want to wear the things you buy me. I want different stuff to wear. He said, well, you pay half it, then we'll go half with it as well. So Dad was manager back at in Ealing, depot in Ealing for Unigate, and he got me a job at Hounslow as a milk boy when I was 10 years old.
Oh, right, okay.
And I remember the first Saturday I ever worked, and I was quite a weedy little kid like that, and absolutely it was pouring down with rain on the job, and my dad and my granddad, who was a milkman at the time as well, come out and found me, expecting for me to go home So I thought, so I was quite a skinny little kid and quite a weedy kid, but I absolutely loved it. Yeah. I thought it was the best thing in the world. I was out there with people like that. Yeah. And I absolutely loved it. So I earned £1 that weekend. I think I had about £1 in tips. Yeah. And for me, so I was quite a shy person, believe it or not. I mean, I still think I'm quite shy. I talk a lot sometimes to get over my awkwardness, and sometimes shy. Sometimes I get carried away. Yeah, of course. And that helped me because you've got to talk to people all the time. Yeah. And that gave me good insight to talking to people and selling stuff. Yeah, yeah. So that gave me a good understanding of work values. And
Yeah, cool.
value of money.
Yeah. So how can you move down?
Well, Dad was put in for transfer to Torquay, he was offered the job. So we came down to Torquay to find a place to live.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the meantime, Dad's boss was promoted to the board of directors of Unigate.
Yeah.
And they offered me Dad the area manager's job of London.
Okay.
So obviously Mum and Dad talked about it, but like I said, Dad was old school and he was a very, very stubborn man.
Yeah.
And he said, no, we made plans to go to Torquay.
Yeah.
The wife and the kids love it down there, so we want to go to Torquay.
Yeah, nice.
So they had a bit of a standoff. I think both sides were thinking the other side were going to back down.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't happen. And Dad said, well, I'm leaving. And he managed to find a small independent dairy in Plymouth.
Okay, yeah.
So he bought off his 2 old ladies.
Yeah.
And this is where I've got so much respect for my parents, because they gave up everything in London.
Yeah.
And my mum probably more so, because she liked going to dinner dances, all the family in London as well. So for them to give up the life they had, to come down to Plymouth to give himself and my brother hopefully a better life away from London, like, you know.
Yeah, cool.
And so I've got a lot of time for what they've done for us.
Yeah.
And maybe more for my mum, that she stuck by my dad, and obviously.
Did you ever notice any sort of them struggling with the change? Like, obviously leaving family, leaving friends, the lifestyle. Was that ever apparent to you, or?
Not for me dad, no, because he lost his dad in the war, so he had no dad. He had a mum, but she actually came down to Plymouth in the end, in the home. He had a sister in South Africa, and his brother died quite early from cancer. So Dad had nobody really in London to sort of...
Well, it's easy to say in that era, for example, was the man went to work, the mum was to stay at home. So if Dad said we're moving, there wasn't really a choice for Mum.
No.
Or for the lady.
It was. You're right, because exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Dad worked. He provided. We had 2 weeks holiday pontings every single year.
Yeah.
And that's what Dad done. He come home. Dinner was on the table. We all sat around the table having dinner, because that's what we did.
Yeah.
Because we had 2 or 3 TV stations in those days. We had no iPhones or iPads or streaming services.
So when you say about eating tea, was that the era of you don't leave a table till you're finished?
Yes.
You don't leave a table till they're finished. You don't leave a table till the last person's finished. And it was family time.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that, especially when my daughter was younger, we tried bringing in so everyone sits together at the table. But it's just so much easier now, just to whack your food in front of you, in front of the TV, and you're sat eating while you're watching TV. But I think families do miss the moment of how was your day? Yeah. And how was your day and what have you done, etc. But because so many people now, we've got, say, partners that work, the females now go to work. It's not just the male that goes to work or the household.
Yeah.
The fact that you do miss those sort of family talk, how was your day? And a little bit of routine that you're teaching the child. The fact that you sit down, you have your food, we talk about our day, and then when we get up, then you can go do whatever. You do your homework, for example, before you go to bed. But it's now the fact of this. Not many people, listeners or people tuning in, just put in the comments if you do sit down have dinner together, because I don't think there's many families that now would sit down at a table. I've got a dining room table that I used to work from home. Yeah. So it's got my computer screen and stuff. We've got a dining room table because, well, you've got to have a dining room table if you've got a dining room. Right, but what's it used for? Christmas dinner? It's the only time of year I'd say that people sit down and have a meal together.
Yeah. You're totally right. I reckon the house brings respect in the family as well, doesn't it? Yeah. Because you sat there and you understand what you're going on in your own lives.
Yeah, sure.
We've done say, I've done this, been this to school, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And we don't have that no more. We don't have the hierarchy in the family. So your dad's the number one, like that.
Yeah. I feel the pain there.
Yeah. I get home from work and I'm like, the old fashioned dinners on the table. Mum just can't cook. So she can cobble together 2 or 3 meals. I'm saying this on camera now. But but I get home and obviously we've got 2 toddlers. So Jamie's often feeding the kids because they're having their dinner time before I get home from work. Then I'm cooking, and then it's by the time we've cooked, we're like, should we just have it in front of the TV?
Now we know why Ben's going out with all of these podcasters who go to the restaurants, right? Yeah. He's eating before they go. Now he's saying Jamie can't cook. That's why Ben's all having those little
But I think I'm not this to the young people, but mums in the old days did cook better food because they couldn't go to the shops and buy ready meals. So they had to make the steak kidney puddings and the pies and made the veggies and potatoes. So
the circumstances they had to, didn't they have to adapt?
The money wasn't around in the 60s and 70s.
Exactly. I bet people didn't eat out as much today.
Didn't,
so just, for example, you said about dad of the house, whatever. Sometimes I get home and I go, I wish we could take it back to the 80s or whatever. And just say, oh, come and say, well, listen to me. Just listen to me, like my daughter, etc. But it's fact of, there is times where it's, oh, ask your dad. Right, but when I hear ask your dad, it's, Dad, can I get this? Dad, do I get this? So if I say no, he's the bad one. Not mum, right? It's ask your dad. But just touch on, obviously, we're going to go on to the present day later on. We're still seeing your childhood, but would you say the relationship that you had with your dad is the same similar relationship that you've got with Mike, or do you think you've got a better relationship with Mike than what you did with your dad?
Different sort of relationships, to be fair. I mean, I'm very, very lucky with Mike. I mean, you know Mike.
I'd just say, obviously, when you're talking about, you obviously a very traditional sort of upbringing, like the way the family was. But obviously, I know Mike. He's a good mate of mine. But I know how family orientated Mike is, and how, you know, with you guys, like how much, you know, he spends time with you and Ange and, you know, Maya as well. Do you know what I mean? And you're such a close family, and I think that's probably definitely sort of carried through from maybe how you were brought and the values that you sort of had.
To me, family is the most important thing in the whole world. Nothing becomes before family. Unless maybe Arsenal, maybe sometimes. But no, seriously, family to me is the most important thing in the world. And you've got to work at it. I think it's too easy these days for people to walk away from relationships and not put. We all go through problems. I don't care who you are. I've been married 43 years. I'm not going to turn around and say every single day of my life for 43 years has been the happiest days of my life. No. But I am so lucky to have Angie in my life because she's been the rock. Because I've done a lot of stuff, and you know, I mean, I'll touch on it later on, but I've been bankrupt and other things, but she's always been there for me. She's supporting me like that. You got to do what you got to do. I'm there for you. Like to have something like that behind me, it just means so much. And I think Mum and Dad being the way they were, because they were 24/7 when we moved to Plymouth. They worked together, but it was 24/7. And they had one or two little arguments, but it was so strong, like, you know. Dad was very, very strict, but he was always there. He was always there for us.
You just said, I've had to stop that, but you said I've been married 43. I thought I was maybe going to say years or times. But I've been married 43.
I've been my brother.
But you said about Dad, the relationship you had with Dad, the strictness. Did the strictness wear off the older you got? Did you then, like, so you have some sorts of you see it on, like, when you watch programs and stuff like that, how it's portrayed. There's like the dad was always strict when you're younger, but then they become like friends like towards the end. And I thought more like a brother relationship as opposed to a father and dad, because times went on. And did they change with the times, or was he the same throughout?
He was. I would say I think by the time you get to sort of late teens or early 20s, you respect that. So even though you are probably closer, we like a bet on the horses together like that. So go down to Brookies, have a bet with Dad like that, and we talk about horse racing and things that Dad interested Dad, like cricket. And so you do become closer to your parent, my dad, but he was still, if he said to me, I would do it, because that was it. It was just the way I was at the time. That's the way I was brought up.
Of course.
We never swore in the house once. Never swore once, because we just didn't. He didn't approve of it. We played Monopoly once, myself, my brother, my dad, like, and
always ruins family, that game. Always ruins the family.
Dad got one of the pieces and the brother wanted like that, and Clark goes, "You bastard!" And well, without realising, my dad had him up by the throat up against the wall. And I'm thinking, whoa! And that was just by saying that mistake. So we never did it. We didn't approve of it. And funny enough, I mean, you asked Mike and Leanne, I never allowed it in the house either. Not because I'm a prude, but I just think it's one of the respectful things.
I think it carries forward, doesn't it? It carries forward into school and then into the workplace. And like, you know, you say, it's, you know, Mike's done I don't know Leanne much, but I know Mike's done really well for himself. And, you know, it's probably those mannerisms carry over. You know,
I totally agree, Ben. I honestly feel that you've got to have good role models to look at. And I had a great role model. He worked hard all his life to give us, and I've always worked hard to give my family what we feel. Because Angie had a tough life as well. And so we always made the issue that we make sure we get our kids, we work hard, give our kids everything we can, love, holidays, and make sure they can sort of.
So when did you meet Anja? So obviously quite young.
Hang on, so she was 16, so that's 46 years ago.
Yeah.
She ain't like that now. You just told everyone on camera.
There we go.
I'll cut that bit, Steve.
What it was, I was lived in Elf Avenue, and we used to clean the vans out every single day after doing the milk delivery.
Yeah.
And Angie walked past the house every day to go to Camel's Head School.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden one day a Valentine's card appeared in the front door. So I thought, that's nice, like. And I thought, I'll try and find out who sent it. So I did a bit of digging around, and I actually found out it was Angie that sent me the Valentine's card. So the next morning when I found out who it was, I said, look, can I take you out and say thank you for sending me a Valentine's card? Because that time I was already going out with somebody else at the time. But she knows that anyway. Yeah. Anyway, she said no first of all. She said no first of all. I won't ask her again, like. Yeah. But I gave it 2 or 3 days, and I said, "Come on, let me take you out and say thanks for the card." And she agreed, like. So we went to watch Grease.
Oh yeah.
So we were in the queue, and she was going, "You buy me a packet of fags." I'm thinking, well, you're not going to last long, because I didn't approve of people smoking. I mean, 46 years later, we've been married 43 years now. So that was the first time that I met, and
46 years equals 320 a day.
And never smoked.
No.
But so then we were together for 3 years before we got married.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very romantic, for perfectly honest. We were in the back of a car up where the garages are, where she lives. I said, "Come, let's get married." And she goes, "Oh, go on then."
Nice, yeah.
And that's how we did it.
Yeah.
So that's why 3 years ago at my mum's funeral. Sorry, hang on. It's a brief bit more. And we was going for the lady doing the what do you call it? The talk.
Yeah.
What's it called now? Anyway. Sometimes we go through life, and you probably will understand as well. You want to say things to people, but you never do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, right, at that split second after myself, I'm going to ask Angie to marry me again. I'm going to do it properly. And honestly, it just came to me right there and then in the middle of the service, because I went to say so much to people, like, and you're thinking, shit, leave it so long. So anyway, I spoke to Emma after the service, the lady who'd done the service. I said, would you renew the vows for me and Angie? I said, we've been married 40 years. I said, it's a bit of fun, but it means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. She said no originally, because she only done funerals and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. She said, look, give me a bit of time to think about it, and I'll get back to you. I never said to Angie about what I was going to do. So Emma rang me back and said, yeah, if you're happy with me to do it, I'm more than happy to do it for you like that. Yeah. So I thought that'd be nice, at a time with my mum liking that, mm-hmm. and obviously for myself, like. So I spoke to all my close family and my friends, obviously my kids, like that. We arranged it with lanterns, with dim, like.
Oh yeah.
On the 7th of August, which is actually our 40th wedding anniversary. Yeah. And the following Saturday, I arranged with the Parkway for us to have the service down there for let's renew our vows, like. So anyway, they already knew in the restaurant that after the starters that I was going to get down on one knee and ask her to marry me again. And so we had the stars. I think about 14, 16 of us there at the table. And I just wanted to do it properly, and I did. I got down on one knee in the restaurant, and I said, went through a few words and said, will you marry me again? And she said, yeah. I said, well, it's a good job. I said, you got a week to get yourself sorted out like that.
She had a week. She had a week to get us sorted. You had a week to get up.
Oh, man, at my age, yeah. And this is going back to the family. It just means so much. Yeah. Obviously Toby brought the ring in. Oh. Yeah. And Maya sung "Will You Marry Me" by Bruno Mars. Yeah, yeah. And it destroyed the audience. I mean, tears, because she's got an amazing little voice, and Toby with the ring on the thing, and on the pillow was my mum and dad's name, Angie's dad's name, and their auntie and uncle's name. All the people that passed away in our family. Yeah, yeah. Were on the cushion as well. So that it just, we try to make it everybody feel. And it was just a great day. It
Yeah,
was just,
I bet.
yeah, so.
Oh, amazing, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, it just means a lot. Means a lot.
Romantic,
Fucking 12,
yeah.
12,
Romantic.
fucking 12.
I'll say, if you want to know how to last more than 40
More the
years,
fact
take
that
tips
about
from
fucking
Steve.
12 minutes in, I'm fucking tearing up already. I'll listen to that. But I just think people, you said, people of different eras, it's the fact of, like, nowadays you try and be romantic, and I said, no, I don't want to do that. I can't be asked going out on a Saturday night. Do you know what I mean? It's the fact of romance is, well, at times in a household it's dead because you've got routines. For example, I work away 10 days at a time, and I'm back for 4. And there's a fact of I sometimes grimace at the fact going home because she's got a routine with her daughter. They do stuff before they go to school, and you come back and ruin the routine, and it's like could start an argument, for example. And I mentioned it now last night. It's the fact of going to bed. Not for us to play in. Right? She's got, I need to go see if I can work tomorrow. And usually I'm sat there watching TV. So I turned it off because she asked me to turn it off. And I texted her this morning and I said, you do realise you cost me watching 2 goals last night. So I turned it off for 90 minutes to find out this morning when I woke up.
Yeah.
Right? But it's the fact that you do stuff. So I thought, all right, you don't realise the fact of she's got to be up because I got the day off. The fact she has got to be up morning and working. And sometimes you're a bit selfish. You're going that she can't sleep because you've got TV on. Little things like that we forget. And I thought to myself, oh yeah, she's not going to get a decent sleep if I've got TV on. But it's just, yeah, I think it's hard now. It's hard, especially with children, for example. I've got an 11-year-old, for example. I said, look, let me take you away for your birthday. And she said, oh, you've got to find someone to have a little one. You've got to find someone to have a dog. That's the other one as well, pets. It's not just children. You want to go away, you've got to have someone to have the dog. And I just feel the fact of, I don't know what it is with today's era, for example. I think, like you said, you got married at 19?
I was 23.
Right, well, Andy was 19?
19.
But nowadays, it's very rare that you see people get married at that age anymore.
No.
But
Yeah, go on.
it's quite funny because like people don't get married, do they, so much now at an early age. But they live together, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
I think the bit of paper now has gone out the window.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know people who've been married, got divorced, live together.
Yeah.
And they're better off at it.
Yeah.
Or separate bedrooms.
Yeah.
I think just going back to what you were saying with you and Ange, Steve, and like where you've obviously, you know, we've had a little chat in private, and you said there's, which we'll probably touch on in a minute, where there's been times where you've hit some real lows, but Ange's always stuck with you. And I've seen something, it was one of them silly little videos on TikTok the other day, and it was like, ask your partner what they love about you. And it's if they say, I love that you do this, and I love that you do that, and I love that you do that, what they do, what that means is they love what you can provide for them, which isn't real love. If they tell you what they love about you, like, I love you because you're this, because you're that, it means they love you as a person, and that means when you are struggling, they're going to want to support you because they love you. Yeah. Whereas if they love you for the things you do, when you can no longer provide those things, that's when those relationships break down. And I think that's a lot of time you see young men and have gone through that, and women, you know, and that, you know, maybe their partner, who what they thought was a wholesome marriage, breaks down when they hit those tough times because they weren't in love with the person, they were in love with what they do, what they bring to the marriage. And I don't think that's real love. And I don't, do you know what I mean?
Yes, the old, I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Yeah.
But what you said, we've had conversations with Steve, and you turned around to me one day openly on the sideline, but it wasn't for Angie, I won't be here.
Yeah.
And you openly said that, but
definitely. I mean, 1995, probably the lowest time in my life. To be fair, I was declared, I made myself bankrupt, and
so what led up to this? Like, what was you?
Basically, I was. Oh, like you said, Ben. I mean, I was doing a milk round, and I got a bookies from Corals, so I sublet off Corals. Just behind, I was at the Hyde Park pub, and figures they gave me about slips, and that wasn't quite tallying up. So I had to work hard to get the business up to a reasonable level. Yeah. And the SIS was expensive. All the other bills were expensive. Then I had a letter in the post from I think it was Duke of Westminster or Duke of Gloucester, putting the rent up from £14,000 to £21,000 a year.
Right. Okay.
So I wrote back to him. I said, there's no way I can afford a 50% increase after 6 months being in this business. Like I said, I'm trying to build the business up. I said the figures obviously always going to get a bit of a drop off because people are not sure if they can cover your bets.
Yeah.
But so I knew I had back-ins for people who I knew I could rely on. If I had a big bet coming, I could just lay it off to somebody else.
Yeah.
So I was confident the business would work. But they wouldn't listen and said, look, we've put the rent up for it, everybody else is monthly paying, so yours has got to go by the 50%. And unfortunately, we had a bit of a sticky spell in the weather in 1995. The weather was really dry and the fields were quite small fields. So it was very difficult for bookies to make money. Gaming machines weren't allowed till the following April, which if I'd known at the time, I would have stuck it out, because I found out gaming machines, good or wrong, covered all the bills.
In the business, yeah.
So I actually won a free holiday to Butlins for being top salesman in Unigate. So I went away with Angie and both the kids. And my dad was running the bookies for me. And you get to a point, you're thinking, I just can't do it anymore. I was upsetting myself, I was upsetting Angie and the kids, because I was working all the hours and that. And all I could see was a black hole. Yeah. I couldn't see no light at the end of that tunnel. So I made a conscious decision then. I said, Angie, I just can't I can't go ahead anymore. I just can't do it. I just come to a wall, and I just didn't want to go through that wall anymore. So I rang up Dad. I said, Dad, put a note on the shop. Please pick up all your winnings by the weekend. And Dad said that the shop will be shut from Monday. So I rang up Unigate. I said, look, thanks for the free holiday, but I ain't coming back to work because I'm just taking time off because I just physically just can't, or mentally do anything. So and I did, and I think I had about 6-9 months off work, and Angie was there the whole time. She carried on working, and I did a little bit here and there to try and raise money, because I always wanted to be the provider. Yeah. And it really hurt me deep down, and I knew it was affecting me mentally, because it wasn't me. For me, I found it very, very hard to be in that situation where I couldn't do anything to sort of give what I wanted to give. And then, obviously, my dad was there, and I spoke to Dad he said, look, you need to go out there, and it's very difficult sometimes when you are in a situation where you are on the wall to find something. Yeah. But in a way, the council, a social rang up and said, look, I've got your job interview, because they knew what I wanted. They said, look, I'll be a store manager. So in a way, I've got to say thanks to the social. They actually got me a job interview with a company as a store manager in town. Okay. And I talked myself into the job, so I got this job. I probably talked too much. And I was a store manager for 2 years. And that came to another thing which I totally dislike, and I've had first hand on, is bullying. Because Leanne was bullied in school. But anyway, I'll go back to the shop first, because that's been the first sign of bullying I've seen. I think there's 6 or 7 stores in the region. And they're all younger, they're about 25. And I think I was about 38, 39 at the time. So all the managers in the region were quite young managers. And the area manager was the same age as me, give or take a year. And in the shop, they were EPOS tills, so he knew what we were selling every day and what we were pre-ordering. It was a game shop, like computer games like Tomb Raider, FIFA 95, all that sort of stuff. So he knew what we were selling. And also we had a shop floor plan, how the shop had to be set up every day for the whole company, across the whole country, about 200 stores in the country. And basically what happened was the FIFA 95s and Tomb Raider would be at the front shelves, and all the peripherals would be at the back of the store. But I thought to myself, it doesn't work, because nobody's going to the back of the shop. They're coming to the shop, buying a new game, going to the counter and leaving. Yeah. So I changed it all around without telling anybody. I put all the new stuff at the back of the shop and all the peripherals at the front, so people had to walk through the whole shop to get to what they wanted. And Robin, well, I won't say his name, he came down to the shop with the CEO from America, and straight away they get to the shop floor door and they can see that the shop wasn't set up as it should be. Yeah. And you see Robin's his face drop again like that. Anyway, the CEO said to me, Steve, he said, I can see the shop's not set up as it is, and give me the reasons why. So I told him, and I could prove it, that my peripheral sales were good as anybody else's in the region or higher for the size shop we had. Yeah. Within 30 seconds, every store in the country had to be set up like our store. Okay. Yeah. And I don't think the area manager was too chuffed about it because come down to my appraisal, and he said, I don't like the way you talk to people like that. I said, I don't understand. He said, well, you call people mate and love. I said, that's who I am.
Yeah.
I don't, that's me.
Yeah.
He said, people ring up head office, you call them mate and love. I said, and? I said, my sales are good.
Yeah.
He said, all the other people in the region ring me up every single day. I said, yeah, because you're a bully to them, mate. I said, you're forcing them to ring you up to let you know what you're selling.
Yeah.
But I said, you already know. I said, you think it's powerful because you've got a clipboard and you're above me.
Yeah.
You think it's right that you can tell these people to ring up every day.
Yeah.
I said, I'm getting paid the manager's wage to run the store for the company. Mm-hmm. If I've got a problem, I'll ring you.
Yeah.
And the discussion got a bit heated. So I just told him what I thought of him, like that.
Yeah.
Put the keys on the table and said to him, I'm off.
Yeah.
Because I always knew by then I got my mojo back, so to speak.
Yeah.
That I could go back on the milk round.
Yeah.
So I rang him up and I got a job next day back on the milk round.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where I started rebuilding my life. And because by then the bankruptcy had finished in 1998, I was discharged. I managed to keep the house. Because that was one of the things going back to 1995 that obviously at the time you thought you might lose the house.
Yeah.
It's just until you go through it all, you don't understand what it just.
It's a bit of he probably got you. He probably got you for what he wanted because like you say, if you sort of impress the big boss, and then it's natural in any environment they sort of start to feel a threat from beneath them.
Yeah.
And then it's a tale as old as time. They'll roll you up to get the reaction that they need to move you on.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? And but
bullies, just they're low bullies.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's in the family, home, school, whatever.
Yeah.
I just hate bullying.
So did you ever, when obviously we skipped a bit. Obviously, you didn't play local football, did you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
So did you do that for a while, or did you go into manage because you were running?
No, I played football. I played football all the time until I was about 34, 35.
Yeah.
I played for the Falcon, Western Mill, Vosper's. I tried to play for Vosper's Sunday League.
Did you ever see it in the football, like bullying, or was it?
I didn't see a great deal. You always going to get people quiet, or someone's going to be a bit more overpowering. But I never, if I thought I'd seen somebody, I've seen it in management, but I didn't see a great deal of it when I was playing.
And that was my next question. So when you were running the kids' teams, obviously we won't talk about any names or give away anything.
By players, by boys, boys,
other boys. And what did something that you had to address with the kids or their parents?
Both actually, to be fair.
Yeah.
The first set boys went through, I was like assistant manager to somebody else.
Yeah.
And we had a player, strong player, which you would know, Tyler. Anyway, we had a player who was very, very quiet, but he was very good. Actually, and you both know his player it is. Very, very good, some score goals, whatever. But one or two people thought he could pick on him, and they used to make his life hell by calling him names and not talking to him or not. And it's bullying. Whatever you say, it's bullying. Mm-hmm. Anyway, in the end, we had to go round to the parents' house of the boy that was happening like that, and spoke to his dad and his mum like that, and it was addressed. He was nowhere near as bad. We nipped it in the bud as soon as we could. Yeah. It went on for a few weeks before you sort of really notice it, because I think with bullies, what I found is once they know they got somebody, over a period of time, they bully that gets higher and higher and higher. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. And unfortunately, this player, personally, I think he could have gone a bit further than he has done. And you both know this player. I mean, I'll tell you in private later on, but I mean, I think he could have gone a lot further than he has done in local football. Yeah. Because when that team finished, I wanted to carry on again. So the other person didn't want to. So this is when I became a full-time manager. Yeah. When I ran the second team. And once again, I always had strict guidelines there and the boys knew it. And you know most of the players because they're all your sort of ages. Yeah, yeah. And they all knew I didn't like the swearing, the back chatting, and certain stuff like that. Yeah. And with parents as well. Yeah. We've been there, lads, when parents, they're worse than the kids, aren't they? They shout at people. And all parents knew that if they didn't like the way I ran a team, you go and find another team, because at the end of the day, I'm there for a bit of fun. I want to win. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's children's football. Yeah. And you want to try and bring it into install some morals into them. to make sure they friendships have been built from football. We all know that.
Yeah, yeah.
We've all got friends from football who've lasted 20, 30, 40 years, haven't we?
Mm.
You're right in what you said. I've been coaching, 16 plus years now. And someone gave me the advice, it was 50 when I first got into it, and took my own team at 16. And they said to me, is the one bit of advice I can give you as a coach is you coach the children, you manage the parents.
Yeah.
You don't manage a football team, you coach a football team, but you manage the parents.
Yeah.
That's where you're a manager. Because I've got at the minute, for example, you said about the bullying in football, and I've come to the agreement with the parents, for example, is you've got social media now. So you've got TikTok, and someone put a TikTok video up and there'll be a harmful comment on it, or they don't mean what they're saying. So I've said, listen, whatever goes on outside of football, that's for you, the parents, to deal with. But if it comes into the team, that's when I deal with it. And if I deal with it in that environment, I'll be pulling both parents in and saying, what's going on? It affects the rest of the team, right? But then they say, you're not just a football manager, you're a mentor. At times, you're a mentor. You're another father figure for that child. And sometimes you can be a counsellor for the parent as well if they've got stuff, because they bring their problems to you because they see you as a community figurehead. And there's a fact of, we've got this going on, how can I help you? For example, it's a fact of, I've always said, I haven't got one daughter, I've got 17.
Yeah.
And the parents laugh at presentation even and stuff like that, because you build relationship with these children over time.
You do.
And as much as I had this conversation with, I don't know, John Endicott, right, with a football coach, I said to him, he said, children move on, right, for different reasons, but if a child leaves my team, I've now come around it, not taking it personally, like, what have I done wrong? But sometimes the fact of the parent thinks that they're better than what they are, so they've taken them to another team.
Oh yeah, good bit
right?
of that.
But the fact of, I took it personally, he said, don't take it personally. You've done everything you can for that child. You've started their journey in grassroots football. They're now playing football. But that's the effects it has on the coach.
Yeah.
They don't realise, as Ben said in his podcast, he doesn't realise what come into it before he started coaching. Because you just turn up as a player, you go home. Well, okay, you've got to wash the kit, etc., and all that sort of stuff. But the negative impact you can have, like you said, bullying. If you see one of those children in your team being bullied, the negative effect they can have on the coach.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've been very afraid. I mean, we take the children away every 2 years. We used to take them on tours. Under 10s, we took them to under 12s, we took them to a local tournament. Under 14s, we would take them to Blackpool or Isle of Wight for tournament. Yeah. In under 16s, both teams we took to either Italy, Holland, or Belgium.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So every 2 years, we've made sure we've been together.
Yeah.
Because we had teams that they stay together.
Yeah.
Because we did things with them, and I think you're right. You got to make it like a family. Mm-hmm. We take them on the home. We have sausage and chips on the home, play a little bit of football on the green.
Yeah.
Some managers now, it's all about coaching and so serious. Mm-hmm. It's taking away the fun for it. And boys will leave more because they can't be bothered because he's a whatever. But I think if you can create it, make it fun and do things and give them sort of like, next year we're going to go to Belgium.
Yeah.
I went to Belgium with Dean, Matt Austin.
Yeah.
What a week, man. We had 5 days in Belgium and playing on incredible football pitches.
Yeah, yeah.
The facilities were amazing and great times.
Yeah.
It was. You can't knock it.
When was that? Would you say it's about like 2007, 2008?
So, hang on. So, they.
So this wasn't Mike's team. This was the team you took on after.
Yeah. So it could be about. So
it'd be Western Mill.
But it was Western Mill, yeah.
Yeah.
So it got to be at least about 14 years ago.
Yeah, I was just thinking because now since 14 years ago, you've now got Xbox, PlayStation, where children will stop playing football because they'd rather do that, or they start social media. We slack social media off, but I goes out on social media. But this goes out. Look, I mean, the negative effects. It drags kids in, or the new FIFA games out. I don't want to play football tomorrow, Mum, because I want to play pro clubs.
Yeah.
So as you were sort of going, like the sort of years you were doing it, that was coming more and more into the fray. Was you finding that any of the kids were losing interest in coming to football, or did you manage to sort of keep them together?
I was right till about under 16s. Then when they come to Sunday, you got to go to Sunday football. That's when you started noticing it more because at 60, unfortunately, they can start going out, have a few beers and whatever else like that. So I didn't say I noticed it a great deal before then, because I think I'm probably the last bunch of lads where social media wasn't as strong as it is now. Because 14 years ago, it was still
Bebo.
Fresh, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bebo, yeah.
It's still a bit fresh when all social media.
That's when we met. That's when we first met, was under 18s football.
Yeah.
because he was running Western Mill and I was running Keaton.
Yeah.
So that's when we first met.
So that's when I think it started more. So I think, to be fair, I had the best times going back to the eras you're saying. You know, in the 80s, 90s, 100s, when social media wasn't so huge it is now, or whatever it is. So,
but as you said about the coach, your personality and stuff like that. So for example, we played you in the pre-season friendly. I don't know if you remember Devonport Park. It was a pre-season friendly, and for someone obviously yourself experienced in football, without being zero to, he's about say 45 at the time, and you come up against a 17-year-old manager. That's what I was. I ran my same age group. So they had no one to take the team on, so I stopped playing to run their football team. But you didn't look down on that. But I mean, someone would find that as a weakness. No. And you thought, brilliant, there's someone young in local football, and you built the relationships, and there's time with the players in which you were saying, and then come on to play for me in numerous teams. But the fact of what I always remembered is that one game at Devonport Park of an evening, and you shook my hand after the game and said, you've got a brilliant team there, keep at it. Whereas I beat other teams in that season because we went on to win the league, also the cup at Plymouth Argyle. Was the fact that we beat somebody in a semi-final, and I could hear him shouting at his players after. He went, "You've just made me lose to a kid." But do you know what I mean? The difference. He said, the manager, you shook my hand after we beat you convincingly, and you shook my hand and said, "You've got a brilliant team there. Stick at it."
But I said it all along. Like you see people out there, the way they treat people. Treat people the way you want to be treated yourself. Yeah. Doesn't care what age you are. Yeah. It's like children. You speak to them properly, and they give you respect, and they'll give you a bit extra. Yeah. I don't care what age it is. Men's football, treat them properly. All I ever ask for in life, right, is work hard, play hard, and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to give 100% in whatever you do. I don't care if it's football, work, marriage, life. If you don't give it, you're not going to get it back, and that's when the breakdowns happen, because we all go. It's tough life out there now for everybody. Yeah. We all suffer from mental things going on in our lives because there's too much going on. Yeah. So you need a partner that you can cope with, you can talk to, who gives you that support and energy. Because you need. Going back to my children, Mike and Leanne. I mean, 38 and 35. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing kids. Yeah. And they're turning into amazing parents as well. Because we've all got on, we all talk to each other. Yeah, exactly. Mike had a problem last year. He came out, he flew out to Mallorca for 4 days to be with us because he wanted some help. And I don't care. Come on, Mike, come in and we're there for him, and we're there for Leanne if he ever needs us. And in the grandchildren now, I mean, very, very lucky. I've got 2 grandchildren. Maya, she's a brilliant dancer, off to the nationals next month for tap and modern. Got a very, very good chance of winning. And Toby's at Argyle on trial for goalkeeper. Yeah. So I'm very, very lucky to have grandchildren. No, we're there supporting them as well. We're there watching Toby play. We go to watch Myers dancing. And I can't emphasise enough. Family is the most important thing.
So what of the grandchildren did they get from you then? Did they get the football or dancing?
Dancing no more. Now football, I just I'm very, very blessed to have people in my life that I love, I care, and they give back to me as well.
Yeah. Let's jump back to 1995. Just going back to 1995, you said the dark place. Yeah. Where would you say you were? You say dark place, but
I don't want to say I had thoughts about doing anything stupid. It just, I couldn't be bothered to get out of bed. I couldn't be bothered to go find a job. I couldn't be bothered to do it.
So would you say you were depressed?
Yeah, definitely big time. Yeah. Because I can relate to that to about 4 years ago. When I was come to the milk round, when I did retire, because the milk round's changed so much. It became an online business only. And I didn't agree with the way the business went, and they kept changing things around, and once again I didn't agree about certain things. I went to work one morning, and I had an anxiety attack at work there and then. I collapsed on the floor, and I was in a right mess. It just come to a head, things you sort of paper over things, and all of a sudden you get to the point you're thinking, shit, I just can't do that. I just physically just couldn't do anything. So they called the manager, Rob, and I've known Rob for a long time. He played football for me as well, like at Western Mill. I said, Rob, I'm sorry, mate, I'm finished. I just cannot do it anymore.
Yeah.
And he said, it got me left home. And I just went to the doctors, and he put me down for depression then.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it was as bad as 1995, but I knew I was in a bit of a bad state, like, you know, I didn't want to go to work.
Yeah.
Didn't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So once again, I mean, I said, I've got to give Angie so much credit for it. I just love it a bit, like, and so she just take your time. And work really said to me that they'd cover me. They would make sure that I still get paid until I get myself sorted out. We actually went on a cruise, funny enough, when I was on the set, because when you've got depression, you're allowed to do things.
Of course, right, yeah.
To try and get yourself mentally prepared. So I had about 4 or 5 months off work, and I was getting deeper into depression because I didn't want to I lost that, what do you call it? Drive to go to work, to find something.
Yeah.
Then I thought, this is no good. I can't retire yet. I need a purpose in life. This is why I think I rang Ben and I said, Ben, you are looking for any part-time drivers. Mm-hmm. And got my licence and became a part-time driver. I worked at B&M and I was a care worker for a bit as well while I was trying to get my licence. So I'd done a few jobs. But by then I sort of come round and I realised that was bloody stupid, like.
Yeah.
But once again, it's because the people there behind you.
Yeah, of course.
Who are looking after you.
And you find you don't mind taxi driving, do you?
Talk to people.
Talking to
people, drive around all day, take money from them. So 3 things I like best. Then.
There you go, drive, you've gone a long way. Oh, because let me finish my conversation.
So done that. I picked 2 days out from a wake for Alfred Lee.
Yeah.
And they're chatting away, and I'm full of chat, like, and I give it all. And I went past a turning, and she goes, "Do you know what? Just keep driving for another 20 minutes. I don't care." And I did. I just drove another 20 minutes, drove around the block, and she goes, "There's the full back." And she goes, "It was so nice for you to just sort of lighten, just talk to her, talk to her general about, I wasn't scared to mention certain things."
We touched on this in mine, didn't we? We said that sometimes you're, and especially when you've had that experiences that you've had, and like you say, you've done a lot. You are quite valuable to people, and you probably don't realise how often, how much people get from their interactions with you. Do you know what I mean? You don't even realise probably, but yeah, and especially where you are, I'd definitely say that's the case. Can I just ask you? Obviously, I want to go back to the thing. Obviously, you mentioned before about when you lost your job in '95, and you said about your dad. Obviously, it was like, oh. How did he take? Was he aware that you were feeling like the way you were feeling, or was it?
Yes, he was, but that was he. Like I said before, he was, because he's old school. He would talk to me. He wasn't an arm round dad. He wasn't like a person who's going to give you cuddles or whatever. And I probably wasn't so emotional in those days as I am now. I've got more emotional over the years.
Yeah.
Because I've opened up more, and I'm happy to sort of show my emotions more.
Yeah.
And I do get quite tearful quite a few times. And I don't care a shit like what people think.
Yeah.
I'm happy to shed a tear because it's just me as a person. Like, so I've always looked at Dad as a person I could speak to, and he'd give advice. So he would give me advice for me to go and do. He wouldn't do it.
It was all very matter of fact. It was like, you need to do this, you need to do that.
This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sort of take me. He said, So it's not because I didn't mind that at all, because that's the way he was. And I keep saying, I mean, it was different, I think.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because it's just, dads were stronger.
Yeah, do you think it was the old-fashioned, like, you got yourself in this hole, and you can get yourself out of it?
Basically, sort of harden up like in that.
Yeah.
Whereas now we probably go a bit more and beyond to sort of,
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you said then. It's like how it's changed over the years, because then, say, for example, his father didn't pull him out of a hole. Do you know what I mean? It's get it sorted yourself. The fact of, as we've come on, so you've battled your own individual issues, and now, for example, you realise, I may have needed that, come on, arm around the shoulder.
Yeah.
So when your kids come to you with issues, just go, come on.
That's
so what you needed, you're now emphasising that with how you parent.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, I'll go back to Mike. I mean, he's had a couple of times, and I think he came from Mallorca last year, last year, and he was there for him. We put my arm around him, and we looked after him. We let him speak. It's no point me saying what your problems are. You got to let them.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
it's the fact of the old.
Being there for them.
For example, they say, well, obviously when we were 90s kids, for example, you'd go out in the street until the street lights turned on and it was time to go home. But say, for example, nowadays it's a fact of when you say not in 1990s, you'd fall over, hurt yourself. It's a fact of get up and go again.
Yeah.
But now it's a fact of no, it's to put the arm around them and say, are you okay?
And I said when Mike and Liam were growing up, we were very lucky. I said, I'll go back to Ange. I mean, I think you probably know Ben. I mean, Ange was at open house we were, because we didn't care who came in, because we knew where everybody was safe.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was our thing in life. Make sure the kids are safe.
Yeah.
And if Mike went out to say, you want to go camping in the woods, he'll tell us he was camping in the woods.
Yeah.
With somebody's friends say, oh, I'm staying around so-and-so's house.
Won't hide it.
Yeah.
I said, Mike, I don't care what you do, whatever you are.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much with Liam, because obviously Liam was that sort of person, whereas Mike I knew was a bit more
Yeah,
get out there
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
person. I said, if you want to go and buy a bottle of wine or whatever, if you decide whatever, Liam would go and buy it, but as long as I know.
The thing is, and that's, you know, I think there's a lot to be said for that, because when I'm not encouraging everyone to go send your kids out drinking. I'm just saying, yeah, and I'm sure you didn't. But what I'm saying is, a lot of parents, well, if the parent knows what the kid's doing, when something goes wrong, that kid's going to be more inclined to tell them something's wrong, because you know, if they're out drinking, I've thrown up. Well, Mum and Dad knew I was drinking anyway, so I've thrown up. So I'm not trying to hide that.
Open relationships.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's like you say, there is a level, and I think, you know, I think there's a lot to be said.
Like
for
you
that.
said though, in the household that you've brought Mike and Leanne up in this, for example, is I would say, better if you agree with me, behaviour's taught.
Yeah.
It's learnt behaviour. So if you see Dad doing something, which is, so for example, I've told Mike numerous times how good of a parent I think he is. Because you sometimes people need that. I think he's absolutely brilliant. And Toby, and for example, just seeing the relationship, even when he's playing football and Toby comes down to watch him, just seeing the relationship you got. But that's part of parcel. It's down to Mike, but it's down to you as well. I think people discredit grandparents. For example, they always say, "Oh, when you're a grandparent, is you'll treat the grandchildren differently to what you treat your children." But in that aspect, I don't think that's true with you. I think the fact of you just treating your grandchildren the exact way you treated your children. Yeah. But people parent differently, and I've made no qualms about how I was brought up and how I grew up, and for the fact I was alcohol dependent at 17. But that's because I learned behaviours, because I was living with an alcoholic. Yeah. So I thought is how you manage your problems. And he said about being out. In fact, if I'll turn around and say, "Oh, I'm going out with my friends, I'm going to the park drinking," it's you're brilliant. Do you want me to buy you a bottle? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah. She didn't know what I was, and then I was being brought home by the police because I fell asleep in Central Park. Yeah. Well, I was sick all over me. I got taken to the hospital, for example. They tried to get hold of her? No, because she was comatose. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just learned behaviours, and this is what I try and say is you don't understand nowadays. Children are watching what the parents are doing and watching what their role models are doing. They think that's right. The right way. So be careful what you're doing when you're doing it around children, because they'll pick up on it and go, "Oh, I can do that." Yeah.
Totally agree. I mean, don't you find though, like so many households have too many rules?
Yeah.
And they're going to break rules. Oh yeah. It just causes conflict. Yeah. So I always try to make life easy. Yeah. Like I said earlier on, swearing line. That's only 2 rules we had in the house. Yeah. And everything else we just as we go.
Yeah, of course.
So it just made life easier. Good. Easy life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think you can make it yourself. Yeah. It's down.
Do you still find you struggle with stuff now, or are you more very much like I sort of understand though, you know you quite well through football and work, and you seem pretty content in that. You just found the right balance now, yeah?
Just life just it's great, mate.
Yeah, good.
I just can't knock it really.
Well, he goes to work, he talks to people, he goes home and talks to people. What more is Mike want?
Football, talks to me. He's got great grandchildren. Yeah, good.
Football, 30, my 31st season this year. So it's not bad, is it?
But you've always been around, so even when you've not been running teams. Yeah. You felt, I'll come on a Sunday, I'll be your first aider. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You've been there around.
I think as well, Steve, as well, the age, like, I'll try and get my maths right, in 1905, so 36 you'd have been. Yeah. And I think some people, if they're not where they want to be, by the time they're 30, they can get into their head that their life's over, that they've missed their targets, that they've missed their thing. And I think you're sort of proof that you can hit the very lowest low And you can
go again.
And you can go again. You've still got time to turn things around and make your life something happy. Do you know what I mean?
I've had a great life. I've done so much. I've had race horses. I've had greyhounds. I've done it all.
Yeah.
I've had a brilliant life. Andy's always been there. Said, look, you do what you want to do. Whatever happens, it happens.
Do you remember when down by the cinema, they used to have that big pool with the big inflatable ball, and you used to get in, and that was Steve's.
Yeah, it was
his business.
I've had water balls, I've had electric boats. And
Mike used to work there on a Saturday.
So I would say that we've got our own old Del Boy.
Yeah, pretty was. You were a bit like a Del Boy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I've tried everything.
Yeah.
I'm a workaholic.
But I say that makes Mike Rodney.
Because you saying about you've been drinking and the drugs, but I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
I just love work. I know it sounds stupid, people, but I love work.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
you were technically retired when you came to us 3 years ago to start taxi driving, and you're probably one of our hardest working drivers.
I just love work. That's sad.
Exeter, I'll go.
Yeah.
If people ask me to do something, I don't do it for them. I will never let anybody down.
Yeah.
That's my motto in life.
No, you see, nowadays, the sort of, say, taxi driver takes you back to, say, 2000s, for example.
Yeah.
The fact that nowadays, it's like, there you go. Do you know what I mean? But you can just imagine Steve, the one who gets out, opens a boot, when you're shopping, you know what I mean? But that's a service that you're paying for. Do you know what I mean? You hope like.
But that's because they've done the milk round. Because it was such a service industry in those days. Going back when I was 10 years old when I first started, they used to have competitions for the top salesman, for the milkman. And you say, Steve, go and sell chickens. I'll give you an extra shilling for every chicken you sell. Yeah. At 10 years old, you ask a person to buy a chicken and tell them you're getting a shilling. It just gives you that, and they buy it. So you're building up your confidence, you're building up your pattern, you're building up morals, because you think, you want to sell like in...
So when you say milk round, that's obviously the ones you used to go around in the glass
on
bottles
doorsteps.
So I was the fucker in Keogh when I would see the milkman going around and running around nicking the orange juice. As soon as it was on the doorstep, whoop! Oh, I didn't get my orange juice. It's because the little scoop was down the road stolen it.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't even like it. Didn't even like it. The fact it was there, ooh, shiny.
We drink it and then leave it on their doorstep.
Actually, put a lad got a billy, a lad joking.
Yeah.
Mike's the one where they have to go back to the house and drop the milk on.
Yeah. So it just, I think, over life, I've been very lucky. I've had 2 or 3 bad moments in my life.
Yeah. Do you think that sort of made that when you look back now, you know things happen for a reason? Do you think that sort of
everything happens for a reason?
Yeah.
Everything happens in a reason for life.
Yeah.
And I've got proof of that because Leanne went for a job interview for a I can't see children for one of the companies abroad in the Med. So we took her to Cardiff. And she went for interviews, she come out, she goes, I didn't get the job because I couldn't do the something on calculations. The following week, we had an interview with P&O Ferries. Got the job, and that's how she met Charles. In the meantime, the company that said no to her rang around and said, do you want the job now? We've changed our minds. But she said no. So it happens for reasons.
Yeah, and I always find, right, and this is the thing I've not really heard of, just something in my own head that I think sometimes. I think once you've sort of found that contentment with life, then you stop regretting things because you everything happens, like basically, if anything changed slightly in your past, might not have ended up where
you are now.
Do you know what I mean? And I often look at it like if I wish I'd gone to, right, okay, for instance, I wish I'd gone to uni. Yeah, and then I think, well, if I went to uni, I wouldn't have joined the Navy, I wouldn't have left the Navy, become a taxi driver, I wouldn't have met Jamie, and I wouldn't have had our 2 children. And I couldn't imagine a life without them, and I'm so content with them that now anything that happens that happened in the past regret, I can't think, well, I wish I'd done that differently, because my life, you know what is the butterfly effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
One flap of a wing, and it just changes everything, do you know what I mean?
It's the complete opposite. What Ben just said is I went to university for a year. I went to university because I thought it was brilliant. Like Freshers Week or whatever, you go out every night. So for someone who's alcohol dependent, they're basically paying you to go to university. All you got to do is go to a couple of lessons.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right, and now the lecturer who's my lecturer is like 15, just a touch of 15 years ago, and he bumped into me and he said, "What a fucking difference!" And he said to me, I even tell my kids, I was sat in his office, he's telling me off, not attending lectures, but I'm half cut. So I'd go in, they had the uni bar there, straight away, open at midday,
Yeah.
brilliant. So I'm there and there. Oh, you got a meeting at 1. I don't think anything of it. So, and I said everything happens for a reason. The fact that I was dealing with demons, and I went out at the age of 7, went out at 18, my 18th birthday it was. The first time I could legally drink in pubs, because at the days you can go to Stoke Village and people would serve you because you had a little bit of bum fluff on your chin. And you'd be in there. And the fact that I went out on one night and met my partner now over 11 years, for the first time, and got her pregnant. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that I had to grow up, I had to battle demons, the fact that I had somebody else to look after, and that's what changed everything. But then when you're dealing with like loss, like you said, it's the fact of it takes you back. It takes you back to a dark place, and it's how you pull yourself out of that. And it's the fact that that's why December will be the 5th year of the clean sheet. And it's a reason behind it. Is if you look back and I go, well, what have we done in 5 years? Do you know what I mean? And what have I done in 5 years? And in a professional aspect, it's given me a full-time job of helping people.
I think it's great. More people need to talk. They do. People need to talk because it helps.
And it hurts. It does. It fucking hurts. I'll tell you now. For example, when you know somebody, I do what I do on a daily basis, and we had one of the operatives on site who passed away on Sunday, and it is through suicide. It fucking killed me on Monday morning when I found out. And I got in there. I said, could I have done more? But unfortunately, you can't at times. You need to come to realisation with that. It's the fact that we can talk to people, etc. But it does. I feel that's my job, is to help people, and I've lost another job. I take it personally. Every time I know that I lose somebody, that's like, I take it personally. But I don't. And what you said there, the fact of, it's the fact of everything happens for a reason. And where I am now, I look back and I go, what for? Come to life, I never thought I'd be in an office wearing a shirt to work, right? And the fact of I get tailed up from the office quite a lot, and they say, rules. And I say, rules are there to be broken. I have a bit of crack with them, because at the end of the day, somebody who's on the construction site, they try to tighten him up, put him in a shirt, and stick him in the office. But everyone's a unique person, and they know that person. So for example, Ben can say a flippant comment to me, whatever. I won't take it as personal. Do you know what I mean? Like,
somebody else does.
Yeah, like for example, Ben would say something to me, and I'm thinking, he fucking rang me the other day on Tuesday. I was on site at work. I said, all right, Ben? And he said, yeah. He said, mate, I'm just on the way to yours to drop the football stuff over. And I was like, what do you mean the football stuff over? And he went, you're taking training tonight? And I said, no, I'm not taking training tonight, mate. I said, I'm at work. He went, Ty, don't fucking do this to me. Right, he said, I'm on the way now to drop the stuff off. And I'm stood there then. I'm day 8 of a 10-day stretch now at work. I've just accumulated like some 72 hours with, he said, workaholic, right? And he's going, fucking stood there going, when did I speak to him? Did I say I'm taking training? I'm at Ben, I'm in Bridgewater, mate. And he's going, nah, I'm only joking. Like, fuck, I'm stood there after you. Tosser. But you build that relationship with people.
Of course you do. It is. And from football thing, it's just like, I think it's great what you're both doing, lads. I said, more and more people need to talk. And I'm happy to talk to people as well. So, if they want to have a chat with me about certain things, I'm always open. And look after your family. That's the most important thing.
Right, so I've got 3 questions.
Right.
I don't know if you've got any questions to ask, Steve, but mine's, we said,
Got it.
we're taking it back. We're taking clean sheet back to where it used to be. Right? It's brilliant. We had Ben on, we talked about football, we had Gav on, we went more in depth about football.
We talked about football.
Yeah, right. We ended up as a bloody something for Sky Sports News and a football podcast. But so we touched on football, so we are going to have a football question in there, so right? And we're going to have three things that Steve would, in Steve's book, on the life of Steve, 3 words of wisdom for anybody watching, listening.
Well, you gave us just one just then, didn't it? Always look after your family.
Love your family.
Treat people with respect the way you want to be treated yourself. I think that is very, very important. And be true to yourself.
It's one thing I picked up. You said love your family. I think a lot of people forget to love themselves.
Be true to yourself.
You look at each other.
Don't try to be something you're not. Just be who you are. And if people don't like you as you are, it's their problem, not yours.
Exactly.
If you've got to change somebody, then they're not your friend or whatever.
No, exactly.
So that's it. Family, yourself, and friends.
Yeah, what do you reckon we should go for the lineup on Saturday? No,
My opinion on tape.
yeah. Nah, honestly, Steve, it's like you say, like, you know, you worked with us for a few years. You've known you for years as Mike's dad, and you know, and even helping me out with the football team the last 2 years. And obviously, I didn't know half of the stuff you've said today, and I think again, it just highlights the importance of people just talk to each other. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, I suffered from depression. I went into work and, you know, I had a fucking panic attack and was head on the desk. And all this time knowing you, I didn't know you'd had a similar experience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And, you know, and I think when you find that common ground with people and you find that, you know, you have got things that you share that you've both suffered with, that's how you know, how people can get through things like this. You know, like you say, it's a problem shared, it's a problem halved, and
It does make a difference.
And yeah, and I just want to thank you for coming in and talking to us so openly.
No, it's a pleasure, lads. I mean,
even if one person that re-watches this and says, "Yeah, I know what you were going through," or you know, I'm going through that, and you know, and they look at what you've done now and how content you are and how sort of rounded your life is now, and I think it just gives hope to everyone. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly that. They said one final question, left it to last. Right, you said not be on the spot. So you coach teams, you coach kids. Right. Your final 11, all the players you've coached.
He's coached me, so I've got to be in there.
I can't remember all their names. Darryl Eden being goal.
Yeah, little piggy.
Dean Ball at the back, at midfield 4. Reece Frost right back.
Oh yeah.
Boy called Dodsley played left back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the centre half. Ross Coombs.
Yeah, Coombsy.
Lee Malloy.
Yeah.
Joe Bland. They played me. Yeah, and you Ben. I've got put Ben there quickly. Ben.
Ben playing. Where's Ben playing?
I'll put him behind the front too. I'm not sure he's better than Joe Bland, but there we go.
No chance.
Shane White, he played for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be in the team. I mean, I had some good players.
Yeah.
Really good. I mean, Sean Ross. I mean,
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
Sean
Maury
Ross,
was
yeah, Sean Ross.
he's an ex-Premier League captain there.
Yeah,
He's
so
gotta be.
yeah, he'd be in midfield. Matt Wright.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Mike was a great
I thought about him. Like.
I was going to wait but he didn't. I was going to wait for the finish. I was going to go to listeners, right?
You've been there, son, right?
I was going to say, I think this whole podcast, Steve has said how much he loves his family. But he comes to the start of 11, he's dropped his own son.
I was thinking about the favouritism bit. They're going to stand off the favouritism.
I think I've said the parents. But Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Steve.
And
Mike, so I see him. Yeah,
That's right.
You've been an absolute pleasure. You've actually brought it back to the reason why we do this podcast and one way to set it up, because you've actually hit home a couple of things. And the start of that was actually quite emotional. I could see Cole's going around, and it just shows purity and how people are and how people battle. So I can't thank you enough for coming in.
No, it's been my pleasure. It really has.
So yeah, so thank you all again for tuning in for episode 3 of the Keep Talking podcast. We have many guests on the list to come up in future weeks, and we are going to be trying to get you one each fortnight, and hopefully some hard hitting culture, etc. That was what Steve shared today. But again, just going to play. If you want to meet Steve, is get hold of Easy Cars Taxis.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It'll take you a long way.
Yeah, long way, but you get a lovely chat.
Right. Thanks for watching again. Massive thanks to Millfields Trust, our partners and sponsors of this podcast. So keep talking. See you next time.